The world of miniatures and models is a cruel, harsh place. A place where the desperate dwell. The eldritch forces drain the life out of their wallets and leave them wander as lifeless husks. There is a prophecy. A prophecy that one with the power to restore life back to those leather husks will rise one day. The hobby of miniatures is a cruel place, but it is also beautiful. It is worth fighting for. Your time to rise up is now!
Hey, my name is Will and this is my top 5 free material for making terrain.
Number 5.
Dried and chopped down leaves. You can find these almost everywhere in the world. Simple, easy and very effective. They look like, well, you guessed it, fallen leaves, and they spice up any landscape very nicely. Just gather them, bake in the oven at 100 Celsius for 30 minutes and chop them down. Then apply to your model or terrain piece.
Number 4.
Twigs from the forest. Every forest floor is filled with these. Just don't go snapping them off live trees, because trees have feelings too. You can use these to add fallen branches to your builds, or use them to make cheese by hot gluing small twigs to larger sticks. And some of them already come with pretty convincing colors, so you don't even need to paint them. Bake them in the oven too.
Number 3.
Pine tree part. One of my favorite ways to make rock faces or bedrock showing through the ground. You can find them in forests too. Look for dead pine trees. There are usually some bark that has fallen off at the base of the tree. Select the pieces you like, pack them and bake in the oven to remove any stuff living in them.
Number 2.
Packing foam. This is a one you could argue that isn't really free, cause you really pay for it in the price of the thing you bought. But I counted it in this countdown because of its versatility. There are usually interesting looking shapes in packages, so chances are you don't even need to sculpt anything. Just cut and glue it to a cool looking build. You do need to cover it up with a thinned down filler or something like that to hide the bubbly texture. And that's not all. Packing foam is perfect to use as a filler material for hills, mountains or rock faces or anything that needs some elevation to it. Just cut it to the size you want, glue down and use modeling compound over it. It saves a lot of compound.
A few honorable mentions.
Roots. Well, they look like roots or small trees. Just add foliage or don't. It's up to you. They can look like dead trees without foliage. Cardboard. You can use this to build structures or shapes pretty easily. Stones. Well, they look like stones painted up. Not much to say about them. I use stones from outside to make a mold from silicone and cast, well, stones from plaster to reduce the weight.
Number 1.
Sand. As I started to write down this list, didn't seem as the number 1, but as I thought about it, it occurred to me that there isn't a single material that I used on almost all of my builds other than sand. I can't even start to tell you how useful this stuff is. It makes for a perfect, well, you guessed it, sand. You don't even have to paint it or anything. Now I get it that this can be a bit tricky to find some places, but look for a ridge. No, not that one. In the wilderness, and there might be some sand over there. I am a bit lucky cause there is a spot with beautiful natural looking sand really close to where I live and I just go there to pick it up. You can shift it to different coarseness pretty easily, but be mindful that you need to bake this in the oven too. Well, that's about it. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or you have some material that you use very much and it's free.